Welcome back. Let's baseball, shall we? We have a full slate to get to. I don't want to waste your time. We have an awesome opportunity for you to jump in. What we're doing at BetMGM and the Discord. It's really cool. 21 or older gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. I'm not going to bog you down with a bunch because we have to get through it. So if you can hit the thumbs up button, subscribe. Look at that. We're giving you 2 free months. I'll tell you all about the Discord coming up for the Odd Shopper Premium Discord just for signing up. Use our promo code OS Insider. Okay, we're good. Let's start, right? We're in Chicago. White Sox, early game here. Let's see what we have. All right, Lucas Giolito up against Jordan Lyles. So we're leaning here initially with the interesting pitching matchup where Giolito, is clearly the better of the two. The strikeout to walk rate is just superb right now, 25 to 4.9 respectively. K-walk. Think about Jordan Lyles is just not good and hasn't really been able to pitch to contact either. So limiting hard hit balls is very small on the list of strengths here for a guy who's probably going to get lit up. There aren't a ton of Ks here for the White Sox. Expect Chicago to start turning on it. Look, expect Chicago to put up 6, maybe 7 runs in this game. Kansas City's probably going to get at least at some point to Giolito. There aren't many pathways there, but to open this thing up, let's look at this total and go over 9, especially because we anticipate the Chicago White Sox doing the heavy lifting. All right, let's keep it moving here. As you see, over 9 right now is our next play. And the big reason is because, look, when you focus on pitching matchups, and that's the main thing that we always do ahead of time, Alek Manoah here is not what we've expected. And the only thing Grayson Rodriguez has done somewhat consistently has been able to strike people out. But you ain't going to rely on that against Toronto. That's for damn sure. So you're going to have to find other ways to get Vlad, Bichette, other ways to get a bunch of guys, Merrifield and Springer in that mix as well. You're going to find a way to do this in some ultra capacity here, but it's really going to come at the expense, I think, of Grayson Rodriguez more so than anybody else. Look, Alek Manoah isn't doing anything. So Grayson Rodriguez is going to get tagged. Alek Manoah is certainly going to get hit. And you've got a Baltimore team that can come in really aggressive when it comes to hard hit and hitting for average. That's going to make it really difficult for Manoah. Again, we're targeting pitching matchup first and foremost. That's why we love totals here. And we're going to stay with this total and go over 9. We keep it moving to Texas. Damn right. We're laying the 1.5 here. Damn right. Look at that. We'll lay the 1.5. Should be 1.5 up there. That's our fault at plus 105. No worries, no issue. The reason, of course, is you start to look at Colorado and Kyle Freeland just doesn't have it, right? Especially now, you're not dealing with Coors level. But John Gray's an interesting cat because while he's not really pitching to contact well, and the strikeouts aren't really there at 17.4%, not walking a bunch, not walking a ton, so no real worries there by any means. And Kyle Freeland, right, like he's just hittable. And you don't have the benefit of the doubt at Coors where it's like, well, both teams are going to hit and both teams are going to swing. I just don't see Colorado at the plate keeping up with Texas. And that's going to be an issue all night or day, technically, for the Rockies. So we'll lay the 1.5 on the run line and kind of look at that as a comfortable play. Next up, we're in Pittsburgh, Arizona in the house here. Look, you want to talk about a struggle. We just saw this here on the other end, right? We just saw this here on the other end last night. Domination, just a full-on domination play. A lot of runs scored. Well, what changes here? What changes? Brandon Pfaadt is out there. He doesn't do anything well. Even walking people, which is not like a big thing for him, he just doesn't do anything well. The 9.2% walk rate, nah. Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller is who we want to target. Mitch Keller is going to annihilate all things Arizona. I just don't know if Pittsburgh's got it in them again to put up a shit ton. They've got a decent matchup. Don't get me wrong. Like, they've got a decent matchup. But hold on a second. Arizona now is charged with taking advantage of what from Mitch Keller? Nothing. Now, Pittsburgh, on the other hand, is just expected to walk all over, but there are some strikeouts in this lineup that make it easier for a mediocre or bottom-level pitcher. And there aren't a ton of guys, despite what you saw, that are consistently hitting for average. So I think there is something there where you look at this where the Pittsburgh Pirates and Arizona Diamondbacks can comfortably ride under the 8.5. We keep it moving. YRFI in the house. Shout out to our guy, Nathan Joyce, who just does not miss when it comes to N or YRFI plays. Unbelievable, the run that he is on. So let's look at why we think there is a target and a culprit, because you need both, in the first inning. Well, you got Alex Fado, as it said here, but, you know, if you live down in D.C., it's Fado. Patrick Corbin, I mean, come on, man. We got a guy in Alex, just you haven't seen enough at all to really formulate anything. And Patrick Corbin on the other side is not walking anybody, but what else? What else do you got? What else do you honestly have? You ain't getting any walk material. You're not getting shit like that. You're getting a 14% K rate. Every single other metric is not working in Patrick Corbin's favor outside of the walks. And while he's dominating that, that's not enough. You know that's not enough. Come on. Let's be honest. Let's be serious here. That ain't anything that you would want to bank on. One of these guys is giving up base runners. Both of these guys are giving up base runners. Most likely one of them is giving up a run. That's why we go YRFI. Yeah, it's going to be probably a number that's not necessarily totally favorable, but that's the market. That's what we bet into. We get it. We understand. It's just a matter of taking advantage of that. Look at this. We can't help ourselves, can we? We can't. We go right back to the same play. Uh-oh. But wait, Shander. Aaron Nola on the mound. Jamison Taillon. Yeah, we're gonna fade-o both of them. Line them up. First off, what Aaron Nola? No, he's not K'ing anybody. 19.2% K rate. That's not any. The only reason why you're getting Ks, the only reason why you're getting something loading is because you have 19.2% K rate, 5.4% walk rate. He's able to extend later in games because he's Aaron Nola. So that's strikeouts. That doesn't necessarily mean wins, which isn't a pitcher stat. I get that, but I meant like team wins. Nor does that take him off the hook for an NRFI. YRFI would be the play here because you're going to get Aaron Nola struggling to strike out in the first half of that top inning. And on the other side, look, you know, Taillon comes in super hittable. The K rate is fine, 23-6 as far as K to walk rate. That's good. Like, that's not mediocre. That's good. I'm just curious to see the matchup against the Phillies at home where they were silenced on Friday night. And we do expect those bats, at the very least, those bats to turn some stuff around. So this is a YRFI where you're attacking both pitchers. Taillon's probably going to be the bigger culprit, but that's where we roll here because the value on the YRFI. We move on. Speaking of value, this is probably going to take some convincing here. I would imagine this is going to take some convincing here. And I think that you want to look at this big thing tonight, with pitching, where Braxton Garrett is charged with essentially striking some dudes out, which is not a major ask at 21.8. Not walking anybody, 4.2% walk rate. There's something there. And just hoping that his Miami Marlins team behind him can slap and crawl and stick their way to relevance through the 7th, 8th, 9th inning. Logan Webb is not an easy out. I understand that. There are strikeouts to be had with Miami, but you're still not getting a ridiculous number in their favor. I mean, this is not plus 200. This is not something gigantic This is still minimal liability right now that we're seeing in the books. That's it. That's a big one right there. I think you look at it from the standpoint of the bigger picture, and you get Miami at least little liability here, small liability with the books. Not be honest with yourself. You just see Braxton Garrett going up against a tougher matchup for Miami with some strikeouts. This is a plus 175, 180. Maybe it's not from a true standpoint when you run all these crunch numbers, but in my head, we're getting a break. And I know that Miami at plus 140 is a little bit of a dip. Just a little bit of a dip. So I think you've got a major opportunity here to slide in, right? Plus 140. I like it. All right, we're going to get to this next pick here. It's a lean. It's a lean. If you don't see anything up there, it's a lean. If you see something up there, we pick a lock of the day, of the game, of the game. I mean, this is just such a wide discrepancy right now when it comes to talent. I don't even know what to say. The big thing here is just the pitching matchup. And it does look like with Eflin now on the hill, you're going to get a major bump. Eric Lauer is trash. You know it. I know it. Everybody who roots for Milwaukee knows it. You ain't getting shit from there. You're going to just blast away. Here's the thing, too. Zach Eflin, enough to keep Milwaukee down. Those bats are just flame as well. You may get a couple of strikeouts, a handful of strikeouts in there, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Hey, you know what I love too? We'll see what happens when this thing pops, but I love the fact that we can continue to push this here and just target a guy in Lauer who just doesn't have it. Just doesn't have it. All right, let's look at this. Under 8.5, we have Houston taking on Oakland. Oakland is just so bad. I mean, you've got a 240 to minus 305 differential when it comes to runs. JP Sears. This is all on JP Sears. Hunter Brown. This is a warm-up. This is like a bullpen session for Hunter Brown. You know? You're not getting shit as far as, any type of real test here. This would be like a double-A. We used to see the guys pop up in Trenton or every now and again in Atlantic City. Here in Philly, you see some random cat, or maybe up in Wilkes-Barre, whatever the hell that is, Scranton. Everybody knows that from The Office. But you would get one of those just like, oh, yeah, I'm not even going to date you. We did see Jeter in Trenton once. That was pretty cool. As you know, like it's the Phillies and all these minor league squads around them outside of Philadelphia. So guys get called up. You can see stuff. It's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. But what happened? That's what you're getting here essentially for Hunter Brown. Might as well be a double-A team coming to town. Except one thing. Can we get some activity? Can we get some life from JP Sears? I mean, my goodness, the guy's got a 24.5 to 5% K to walk ratio. That's pretty good. Like JP Sears alone, if he could just stay the course, if JP Sears can just be in some control here, you've got a pretty decent shot for this kid to get through 6 innings, maybe 5+ innings without getting tagged. Like super tagged is what I'm saying. That's not bad. All of a sudden here, you got an opportunity where I think it makes some sense if you're just banking on JP Sears to do all the heavy lifting. That's fine. That's fine. All right, we've got 6 to go here. Let me remind you real quick what's going on BetMGM. As you see, sign up, first bet. You get paid back up to $1,000. 21 or older, gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. The code is OS Insider. Look, I'll show you, it's cool. Like we just had another monster night tonight. I don't have the screenshots to turn around in time, but yeah, we did some heavy work. And if you're wondering about like what the Discord, It's an awesome community. Everybody's sharing plays. Everybody is giving out picks. At the end of the night, you see thanks at like 15 different people for throwing different plays and winners out. It's not just me clearing 30 units in one day. It's the community. There's no ego. There's nothing like that at all. Everybody's on the same side. Everybody's on the same team. It's so cool just to see this shit. All right. And that's why we want you to be a part of this. That's why we're giving you 2 free months. My God, free months of the Discord. You probably just want to stay there, don't you? You probably just want to, don't you think? At the very least, I would think so. Okay, look, that's fine. That's fine. I'll just leave it up there for you. Here we go. Under 8 at City. Under 8. Got another pitching matchup we're going to target here. Cleveland is difficult to strike out. Max Scherzer is going to need a little extra oomph. You got some walks in Scherzer, but you do have, this has been really a saving grace from him individually. I don't care about results here. I just care about him limiting runs. We'll get to Tanner Bibby coming up in a second, but Scherzer's 22.4 K rate is fine. That's enough to just extend this start for a little bit more. No issues or true concerns there. You know, the problem that you are going to run into if you're the Mets is Tanner Bibby. Tanner Bibby is no joke. You got a big problem right now if you think that you're going to get by if you're the Mets because Tanner Bibby's on the road. Bibby is dominating. The average is just low. The K rate is 25 to a 4.5 walk rate. Just stop. Just slow down and stop. If you're the New York Mets, you've got K's in this lineup. You don't have enough hard hitters in this lineup. Pete Alonso can't hit 5 home runs and win this thing or tie it up like we saw. Just stop. All right, we roll under 8 as we pick things up and keep it moving. Cincinnati, we're just going to fade the under here. We're going to fade the ballpark. We're going to fade the pitching. We're just going to go over. That's our lean. Aaron Judge and the Yankees coming into a bandbox. They can probably carry it on their own. Rizzo, shout out to Lindy calling that one on the Discord. It's just a matter of fact for us. We got to roll over. Let's keep it moving. Another over. Over 9 here in St. Louis. We did not get the runs. We did not. Big problem right now. And you know what I love too? Is a major issue running just like a leak from above your ceiling. Just flowing and flowing. The St. Louis team is not easy to keep down. And if you just keep looking up like, oh, yeah, that's fine. We got it. We got some water. I can't even tell if that's water damage or discoloration, like paint, what have you. We'll be okay. You keep thinking that, L.A., and watch what's going to happen. You're going to see some runs. You're going to see that turnaround. What wasn't anything at all, a blanking, right, is not going to happen. You will see regression. Look, the Dodgers are going to score. We don't have any problem believing that the Dodgers are going to score. I mean, give me the Dodgers to score. That's fine. But I like St. Louis just bouncing back. Atlanta on the run line. Did I mention that we're going Atlanta on the run line here? You sure about that? Pitching matchups in there. It's Chavez. Jesse Chavez on the hill versus Logan Gilbert. Look, this has run line for Atlanta, but you want to play the under too? I'll lean under. That's fine. Chavez, though, I think is great. Look, Logan Gilbert on the road is going to just take some time. I don't know if he has it. You know, you got Matt Olson who swung the bat. Shout out on the Discord. We nailed that one last night. The K rate's there, but otherwise you're not striking a lot of guys out. Consistently, not enough. Austin Riley, on the other hand, like with Olsen, you have a lot of positive around it. This is a difficult matchup for Logan Gilbert. He's on the road. He's got the talent. He's got the ability, but this is just really tough, really tough. Under 9 in LA. Anaheim Angels. The L.A. Anaheim. Remember that nonsense? Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Throw yourself off a one-story roof. Just forget it. Pablo Sandoval, though. Patrick Sandoval. Jesus. Patrick, this is what happens when you're 14 in and Jimmy Butler ruins a lot of your bets. How can you be mad at Jimmy? How can you be mad at Jimmy? I can't be mad at Jimmy. Are you going to be mad at Louis Varland? No. Hey, Patrick Sandoval isn't this big strikeout guy, but he's keeping the EV low. You'd like him to pitch a little bit better to contact. Louis Varland, it's really just a matter of when you're going unders here, the biggest thing you want is to make sure that your opposing pitcher, your road pitcher, in this case, Varland, has a good enough matchup that he can do his part and kind of neutralize what's going on with Ohtani and Trout and Renfroe and this difficult matchup that's just so hard to pitch to. But on the other side, Sandoval. So you're thinking, why aren't you going over? Why aren't you going over 9? Because I trust Varland here. I trust Varland in this spot. And I think Varland can hold down the Angels. Angels just don't have a great matchup there. And then on the other side there, Sandoval isn't terrible, but we don't like Minnesota. There are some easy strikeouts in this lineup for Minnesota. It's going to be a lot of boom bust for Minnesota, and that's just not a sustainable way, especially in this game. We just don't like it. Under 9. And again, if it's Gallo, if it's Buxton, if it's, Taylor, you've got guys that have some positives with them, but the strikeouts are just way too high to ignore. Last one here, under the first 5 total. Under the first 5 total. We've got a total of 8 in this game. Boston comes in as pretty decent, not ridiculous, but pretty decent road dog. Chris Sale's on the hill with that 28.764 K to walk ratio. I love it. Just love watching that. Joe Musgrove. You may not know just on the surface of it, but K to walk rate's fine, 21-9. It's not great. It's not bad. It's okay. His opposing batting average is really what gets me here. And that's what really stands out. And that's what I love about this target is you've got a good shot here if you're Musgrove. Take advantage of a Boston team struggling to put up runs like we see on the road. First 5. On the other hand, Sale definitely pitching exceptionally well, and he's going to need all of those metrics on the road. So it makes sense for us as we end. A reminder, I'll tell you all about the fun stuff going on here, but we end under first 5. See that? First 5 for Boston and San Diego. That's it for us. We're out. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thumbs up, subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow.